today we are talking about what full potential is and how to spot it and how to develop your own. Hello and welcome to the Cult of Self show. Today, I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Albert.
So we're clear on what we're talking about, full potential, one's full potential. Becoming the best one can be. The absolute best version of yourself. Really soak that in. The best version of yourself. What would that look like? What would that be? Who would you be? What would you be doing? Where would you be living or whatever? You know, like
how would you be operating?
Yeah, what would life be like? So we kind of break it down, chop it all up into 7 tips, well, 7 ideas, 7 concepts for you to really ponder, really soak up, and really think about through your day and, you know, days to come, weeks to come, months, years, because these are classic, these are timeless ideas and concepts. So diving into number 1, establish goals and know which direction you're headed. This is essential.
Well, and in the long term, you know, having an idea, having that idea in your head of where you want to go, it is very critical because it's just setting that intention. It's putting it out there, to the universe or whoever that this, you know, this is what I'd like to see come into my life, and it's just really like putting your foot like in the ground and just saying, okay, here's where this is where I am. This is what I'd like to achieve. You know, down the road, you don't have to set a time. You don't have to set a time limit. Although, you know, having some kind of time frame does help to create those like stepping stones that I know you love so much. but having that idea in that direction with which you're going, and having your intention, like your own personal mission and intention, is very vital to reaching your full potential.
Yeah, for me, it's very important that I first develop that mission. Like, what's my life goal? Like, what is my mission? How can I help myself, those around me, and then potentially even the world? Absolutely the world. You know, like once you're gone, once this life is gone, you know, you're done. You're checking out. Like, what kind of stamp would you enjoy leaving on the world? A positive stamp, you know, like the best stamp that will continue to inspire others and allow others to, you know, even become the best versions of themselves, and then just continue the innovation cycle throughout. For me personally, establishing goals, the bigger the goal, the better. You know, you set it for like, you know, like huge ambitious goals. You know, boom, I'll throw that, you know, 10 years down the road, that's great, but what do I have to achieve along the way before those 10 years are up? So it's like, you know, if I want to be, you know, a nonprofit, you know, helping people overcome their death anxiety 10 years from now, oh, well, I have to create a nonprofit organization. Oh, well, then I have to fill out these forms, those forms, get this submitted on time, you know, that kind of thing, establish the whole organization. I'm like, okay, well, write that down, you know, that's on the to-do list. And then also I have to, like, you know, potentially create content. It's like, you know, get yourself out, get the social medias going, stuff like that. You have to allow yourself to reach people and get the message out, and then just really set the goals and then follow along throughout the years, throughout your months and weeks and days, hours, minutes. All right, so diving into number 2, choose things that are out of reach right now.
Having those something that doesn't even seem possible in your mind, but it's something that you like to strive for, is always good, because if you are reaching for things that you could already comprehend, then there's no room for really that big expansive amount of growth to occur. You know, you could take those little steps, but you're only growing within your own mind. You're only growing within your own limitations. Setting those I don't want to say expectations, but setting the goals very outreachable, or that seemingly outreachable, means that you have to grow in so much in a period of time. You actually have to grow into yourself so much that you get rid of some of your own limitations that you set on yourself to actually get to that place. So that's really vital, to kind of go way out of your own reach.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially for you personally, with you're taking the concept of, you know, mobile life, you know, becoming a digital nomad even,
Right.
where you live out of your bus, you know, and so you had to flip the entire bus, you know, like, okay, maybe like what, like 5 months ago, you're like, oh, I like that idea, I want to achieve that. Well, what do you have to do? First, you have to buy the vehicle, then you have to like get all the equipment you need
Yep.
to renovate it, and then you have to start the renovation, schedule stuff, and then
Constru-
boom.
Yeah, learn construction.
Yeah.
But not only that is, you know, but the mobile life, it involves a lot of the construction and everything that's involved in the bus, but it also involves the life that I'm going to lead after I create the bus and get on the road. It's like, okay, well, how do I sustain myself? How do I create that lifestyle with it? So, you know, there's all these steps for the bus, and then there's all these steps for me that I have to take that allows me to keep creating content and to keep creating things, different unreachable goals. Yeah, you know, setting these what they seem like unreachable. I say unreachable because it just, in my own mind, there's limitations there that want to say initially, I don't know, but you set them anyway because then you know you'll break those limitations and grow into those eventually.
Yeah. Unreachable goals are just personally a huge motivation to me, because it's like, oh man, that dream is just so awesome. Like if I could live that, like if I could make a bone chandelier that big, oh, that would be so exciting. I'm like, okay, well, I really want to do that. Absolutely, I want to make a massive one, right? And I'm like, well, how do I do it? And then it's just, I make a note, like, oh, well, I'm gonna need, you know, 100 femurs, you know, 200 hips, gonna need about, you know, 100 skulls. It's like, okay, well, let's make the list, you know? And then once I have that all plotted out, then I'm like, okay, well, it takes about, say, 24 ounces of resin to make one skull. It's like, okay, well, then how many ounces of resin am I gonna need? Okay, well, how much is that gonna cost? Okay, well, how can I raise those funds? Okay, and then you start making these lists. And then once you start seeing like, oh, I need this or I need that, it's a lot easier to start tiptoeing towards that big out of reach goal that at first you thought was out of reach because it was unstructured. If you're not structured, yeah, you can't really achieve anything, you know? You can only dream about it, which is fun, don't get me wrong, dream all day, every day, all night, your whole life, you know? But if you really want those dreams to come true, you have to structure something. You know me, I love my list, just list it out. Just like I said, if you want to create something, you have to know what you need to create it and then start acquiring those things over time, in time, and then just make it happen, you know? It's very important. So tip number 3, we are looking at massive action. Oh, I love this. I love massive action. Give me massive action all day, every day, for an entire lifetime.
What do you got on massive action?
Oh my God, massive action. Massive action, especially now in the day of social media, in the day of, you know, you could be omnipresent online always with like the right, like, you know, content management software where one post you could post on Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, you know, Pinterest, all these different sites. You'll be all over the place all the time. This is incredible. This is absolutely like if the higher intelligence gave us one thing, it was, well, the internet, but it's also these social media outlets where it's like you could post one thing for free and potentially hundreds of people, thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people, even millions can potentially see it, see what you're saying, see what you're doing. And so so if you can potentially get millions of people to see what you're saying, well, imagine if you posted, one thing a day, but like, that's like, not necessarily massive. I'm talking like 10 things a day, 10 things a day, hundreds of people, millions of people seeing that stuff every day. Now that's very ambitious, but let me tell you, just imagine that with a strong enough mission and allowing others to really back you, give you all like their positive energy, do something positive to help you, your community, those around you, and even potentially the world. That will hurtle you towards your goals a lot faster than you may expect. Massive action is absolutely crucial for allowing yourself to achieve your dreams and your goals.
I wanted to say also, just even on a simpler level, taking action in just in general on these goals is the utmost vital importance. Finding a few different outlets to really push forward with your direction and with your goals. Having if you do just one little thing and you expect to achieve these really, you want to achieve this big success. Working with just one little outlet all the time isn't going to help. Taking more action, finding different outlets to express yourself, and social media is a huge factor. Yes.
Huge, very helpful.
But yeah, taking action and finding a few different outlets to go with and to express yourself that you feel that you enjoy. Find things that you enjoy too. It doesn't necessarily just have to be like a kind of like a thing where, all right, well, I gotta do this. Try to find things that like give you a little bit of a spark. It's like, all right, I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna post this on, say, Instagram. You really enjoy Instagram. I'm gonna post these pictures and I'm gonna kind of stay up with it, keep up with the comments, keep up with my likes, keep up with things, find things that you like, and that's one outlet, and then find other outlets that you like. You might like YouTube a little bit better than Twitter. You might there's things, some people like videos, some people are better with their words. Cater to your own skills, but take those actions and find multiple outlets to help yourself express.
Right, and please don't limit yourself here. So say if you're like a local business that makes dog treats. You're like, oh, I don't do online, I don't do e-commerce. It's like, what's your mission? Do you have a strong enough mission? Because if your mission is to allow dogs to eat food that allows them to feel like the most healthy, the most excited, the most enjoyable, because there's a lot of dog foods out there that dogs have allergic reactions to, messes them all up, all itchy, biting their hands, licking their hands and stuff. Oh God, count endless, If your mission is to allow every dog to feel their best, to play fetch the optimal aim, it's like, well,
they're playing fetch all day.
Yeah, all day. Having so much fun with their owners. Listen, get out there, spread that mission. Interview dog owners, post that online. Oh, listen, just shoot me an email, jeremy@catacombs.us. Listen, I have endless ideas to help you with marketing content and ideas and stuff like that. Moving on. We could talk about this all day long. Number 4.
Favorite subject.
Number 4 is perseverance. Get that grit. Never stop. Because let me tell you, I've been going at say with catacombculture.com for over 3 years now. And there are a lot of naysayers. There's a lot of people that oh dude, I don't know, that doesn't seem like a good business idea. These people who've never run a business, never tried to run a business, giving me their advice is meaningless. They're not who I'm trying to, they're not a mentor. They're not where I want to be. Why would I accept their advice? It means nothing, So perseverance, that means you stick with something until the end, and potentially there is no end. You just stick with it.
You have your vision. You have your vision, and you're moving forward in it. And if it's something that you're passionate about and you really like, then you just keep going. It doesn't matter, what people are telling you and what's happening around you. It's just you're following your vision, and that following that vision, you'll be successful and you'll achieve those goals that you put out there, whenever you started.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good. One thing I do want to point out about reaching your full potential is that this is it seems like we're talking about, we say, okay, we're going to reach our full potential. We're going to get to, it seems like a destination. When in all actuality, once you get to the ceiling of this your destination, the ceiling grows. This is a process of self-growth, and it's a process that continually seeks to challenge you, and it continually seeks to help you get to another stage, and even when you get to a point where you get to your unreachable goals, and you actually reach those goals,
Yeah.
you know, there's still going to be a higher ceiling and, you know, another tier of unreachable goals. You know, you have expanded now to be not limited and into spaces where you used to be limited, and now you're still going to be able to keep expanding.
Yeah.
So it's never really a destination. It's really something that will continue to keep you in stride and keep you always growing.
Yeah, it's trying to accomplish the unaccomplishable, and then, you know, you start noticing you're achieving it, you're creating it, and then as you grow, so will your goals. So say my goal is to help, you know, 1,000 people in the local community, you know, the homeless community. Boom! I achieved the goal of getting them homes, getting them apartments, getting them in a safe shelter where they can feel secure and good about themselves. Done. Well, my next goal would be the whole state of Pennsylvania. And then once I achieve that, then it would be the whole nation. And then even potentially the whole world. Think about that. And so it's, as you grow, so will your goals and so will your achievements as well along the way.
Yep.
So moving in, tip number 5, cultivate curiosity and fascination. This is like, personally, this is huge for me. Always being curious, always, you know, dipping your toes into new things, trying new things, because not only will that, you know, inspire you, it will help you grow. Like say for example, I was tinking around with like LED lights, you know, making my own rig and stuff. And then before I knew it, I had a collector who was like, hey, can you incorporate LED lights into one of your skull sculptures? I'm like, of course I can, because I have that information. And so, like, just always exploring, always be curious, even take time to yourself. Go on like these, like, go check out an art gallery or like a museum, you know, revisit these places and just see what they have to offer, because they always have like exhibitions that are, you know, swapping out, getting new stuff, new art.
Childlike wonder. That is my tip for this category here. Childlike wonder. When we're young, we always see things from a fairly new perspective, and we're always in wonder and awe of these things. But as we get older, we kind of fall out of that. And as we get into a subject that we become very familiar with, sometimes that wonder even starts to kind of fade away. It's like, oh yeah, I know this, I've seen this, I've done this, you know, and you get that perspective. But, you know, coming back to things all the time with that childlike wonder allows you to see things sometimes from different angles, allows you to see different potentials that might not have been there before, and allows you to keep growing in a way of looking at the same thing and then seeing seeing it in completely different light, and allowing you to grow. And that might and it probably will spark some interest in diving into things that, for example, you're talking about your LEDs, you know, you work with certain light bulbs, and all of a sudden, you know, you see something differently. Oh, I want to play with some LED bulbs, and you can play with that, and then a potential comes for you to apply that knowledge, and then you know, just from that, having that wonder of like, oh, what can I do with this? And that just stems from seeing your own work and seeing what you're doing and seeing the subjects that you're looking at and that you're interested in, just looking at them with the wonder, so you can see them from different potential. You can see them from different angles and see different potential in those things.
All right, coming at you, tip number 6. Oh, I had to get the 2 hands in there. Innovation and boundary pushing. Oh yes. This is one of my favorite like concepts, because it's just, you know, taking 2 different ideas and, like, say for example, try to come up with an example off the top of my head, like say for example, like this for example. Here we go. Like taking crystals and incorporating them into resin. And you could tell us the whole idea and concept behind the crystal and resin. But it's taking that idea, taking 2 average things that have been like 2 different purposes, and then combining them for something new. And I mean, you know, it could be anything. It could be combining, say, like water and cars. How could you create like just come up with stuff off the top of my head right now. Like a car that drives on water, almost like a jet ski or something. Or like, how could you fuel a car with water? Just stuff like that. Just combining these two ideas, really pushing boundaries, which like, oh, fueling a car with water, that's impossible. Yeah, but until someone actually does it,
Yeah, that's the thing. Nothing is really impossible if you just got to come up with a way to do it. You come up with the skill, and it doesn't have to be. It's some of these things when you get into innovation, you're pushing boundaries. You're getting into territory that nobody has gone before. So you do have to get a little creative. You do have to apply concepts that might come from different subjects that you say, oh well, maybe with this kind of thing works in this category. Maybe it'll work in this category if I tweak it a little bit and I play with some of the ideas. Just finding innovation is never something that you're going to just find already out there. That's what makes it innovative. That's what makes it new. Reaching for something that doesn't exist yet, knowing that it can exist if you could think of it. It's there. So just having that idea is crucial. That to push and to become actually innovative.
All right, tip number 7. Tip number 7 is learn to shrug off popular opinion. This one, oh wow, this one is a pillar. This one is a tremendous hurdle, a tremendous obstacle that everyone faces. Because everyone's stuck in their bubbles, the local communities, where it's like, oh, you're doing what? Why would you do that? Just sit, relax, take it easy. You're working so hard. Just, hey, relax. Have a glass of wine in front of the TV. Let's have a movie night. Let's wait and then go to work tomorrow and never do anything, never achieve your goals, never achieve your dreams.
Yeah.
Even if you come up with a grandiose idea that will shock the world when you actually achieve it, listen, those around you who love and care about you, they will be the first to say, oh, you don't want to do that. That's too much. That's going to take too much work. You don't want to work that hard. And these naysayers, these are the people that will be holding you back the closest because they're so close to you to begin with. I mean, they're not necessarily haters. Haters will tell you like, oh, that's awful, that's terrible. And, they'll probably do it anonymously, just because that's the way the internet is. But I'm telling you, shrug off popular opinion. Ooh, shrug it off. Get it off. Go. Stay clean. Get that popular opinion off.
Yeah, to be original and to actually achieve what you need to, what you're setting out to do, is going to go in today's society is going to go against popular opinion, really, and it really doesn't matter what you're doing anymore. Our culture is kind of in a way telling us, in some cases, to hey, just relax. You don't need to do this. You don't need to go out and spend a little extra effort into doing these things. But you do. The reality of it is to really gain momentum and to push for your goals and to push for your full potential. Sometimes you have to do things that everybody else isn't doing. You might live in an area where there is a lot of innovation going on and there are a lot of people that are supportive, and that's awesome. But that's actually, in my experience, that's a fairly rare place to live.
Absolutely.
I know there are some cities that do have groups that organize that try to keep you supported, but in the same case, those are groups. In a lot of areas you go to, you're in a certain kind of living environment where people aren't motivated to be reaching for the stars and beyond. And they want to be the first to. You might grow up and you might have certain habits and you might hang out with your friends and your friends might not want to be doing some of the things you're doing now, and you might have to step away. You might have to step into something new, something that they're not used to, you're not used to, and that it's for your greatest benefit. So you might just have to go against everybody and do your own thing. And that's sometimes the case.
Yeah, on a very personal level. So when I first started Catacomb Culture, I'm like, I have this big idea. I want to create functional home decor out of human bones that I'll be sculpting. And I proposed that idea to a handful of people, and they're like, oh yeah, like whatever, you know. They weren't necessarily supportive. They were a little scared, to be honest. Not scared that I was human bones, but scared that I'm not, you know, I quit my job, diving headfirst into my art. And locally, trying to make it as an artist is extraordinarily difficult. And I'm like, okay, so first of all, I need to educate myself on how to actually be a modern artist and how to get my art sold. That's number one. And then number two is, how can I sell to anyone in the world? Because I can't sell my sculptures locally. There's just not a big market, to be honest. And there's probably not a big market by where you are for where your goals are. So you might want to, you know, either consider jumping online or, you know, moving. You know, you gotta be mobile. You know, you gotta get out there. You gotta know where your people are. You know. And so from that, I was like, okay, listen, I got this big idea. Some things I need to get handled. I'm gonna stay in my studio and really go underground with this, and really just make my art and just get it done. I don't need people around me saying like, no, it can't be done, or like, you know, why are you doing that? Why don't you get something normal or stable? I'm like, no. Like, I have this vision, I have these goals, and I'm like, I need to achieve these. I don't have an option, you know? I'm a seeker, right? I seek my goals, and see, I'm seeking my full potential. We're all seeking full potential here. And so, sure enough, once I came out from under that rock, I started selling my art online, and you know, it's just been a lot of fun. It's been a tremendous learning experience, absolutely.
Yeah.
How about you? Do you have any like personal stories of, you know, showing up public opinion?
Of course. You know, I quit my job. I wanted to move into the tiny house living and be mobile. I wanted to share. Don't want to share knowledge with people. I wanted to help people in my own ways, and I wanted to go out and do what I wanted to do and not be held back by, okay, well, I could go to my job and then I could be home for 2 hours and follow my dreams for 2 hours a night in my full time, or in my available time. And so I left my job. I bought a bus. I made a tiny bus a house, and now I'm out there, you know, working with other people and performing ceremonies and helping people with energy work and other things like that. And I've had a lot of people tell me, you know, like, first of all, there's a couple things, like, you're crazy is one of them. That's a huge factor. You're crazy, you know. The people that tell me that I just can't, you know, they don't even beat around the bush. They're like, you just can't do that. And they have no real reason behind it. They just, you know, it's some of their own limiting perspectives that they're just trying to push on me. I had people telling me that it's not going to work out. You know, all the concerns that people have for me started coming out, and then of course there's the people that they just think it's just aesthetically weird that I want, you know, they see me living in a bus, they see me kind of, you know, just not doing my regular 9 to 5, not you know, following that kind of practice, and I got a lot of naysayers because of it, and I got a lot of criticism because of it, and the thing is, you know, once people see you doing it, there's not really much they could say after that. You know, right. It's like you have to kind of go through that, and you might, because I'm going so much against the grain, especially for where I live. It's a very very big hurdle, but I'm comfortable within myself to just do it. You know, to say this is, you know, I feel it. I follow my intuition. I follow my inner guidance and what feels like the right thing for me and what I feel most passionate about and most joy from. And I said, well, whatever anybody says, I don't really care. It doesn't matter anyway. And you just kind of push forward. And once you get past that hurdle and you start living the life that people say you can't live, there's no other excuse. They can't say anything else after that, you know. So I put it all in the background. I didn't pay attention to it. And then as I started doing it, you know, more people come back. The same people that were criticizing, come back and say, well, this is pretty cool. You know, and at this point, I'm doing it. There's nothing they could say anymore. There's no excuses being made. I'm doing what I said I was going to do, and then there's no more concern, and that situation almost just fixed itself, you know, just by me stepping away from it all in the beginning and saying, well, it doesn't matter anyway, and I'm doing what I'm going to do, and then I go out and do it, and then later on they change their attitude just because they got nothing else. It's their perceptions were very shallow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot and hearing a lot that this phrase, "You're crazy until you're a genius." You know?
Yeah. You're crazy. Yeah, you're crazy. They what's that old the thing is first they ridicule you and
then they what is it? They ridicule you and then they'll until they grow to love you. And,
until eventually, and then you're a visionary down the road when you're looking back and going, wow. I can't believe this person was a genius all along.
Because look at what Steve Jobs, what he did with Apple, taking on like Microsoft's dominance in the marketplace, just like trying to sell like all his technology and stuff. That was nuts. And then also all the other kinds of people like Tesla.
Yeah, Albert Einstein was to a degree one of those people too, until he started coming up with relativity and these different theories that people see these innovators as crazy. When you're talking about concepts that people don't readily understand, you sound just like a crazy person. It doesn't really fit into their mindset. So they say, oh, you're crazy. It doesn't really matter.
No.
You'll be innovative, and then they'll look back and they'll see it once you're doing it. And that might not always be the case, but for a lot of instances, I'm sure it will be. Yeah. Once you're doing it, nobody can argue.
Right. As long as you have that clear, strong mission to really help yourself and help those around you, people will in time absolutely come around and see what you're doing, and will eventually want to be a part of trying to help you.
Some people want to be a part of it then.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, all right. So, is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up the show?
I'm good for this show.
Well, how about what do you got here? What's going on?
We got a little bit of these are some feathers that will be turned into some ritual tools and things like that. But right here, this is one for example. This is a genuine crow wing. And I'll be adding at the bottom some new handle to it and everything as a smudge fan. We have a piece of orgonite here that we'll have a lot more of on. You can check out the Etsy shop. It's Divine Temple. And if you want to get in touch with me or any of my services that I offer in ceremony or energy work, you can check out www.sacredselfdiscovering.com. Thank you.
Great, and then you can also check out me and all my art at catacombculture.com. And if you like this video, you definitely gotta check out the others on the playlist at www.catacomb.tv. And remember, your potential is infinite, so go and explore it. Thank you for watching. See you next time.
See you guys.